gentlemen, boys and girls, the Royal Air Force Parachute Display Team, the Falcons. Immediately the team accelerated to 120 miles per hour, putting smoke canisters on their ankles to paint these amazing lines in the sky. And here's the round about 4,500 feet canopies all deployed. So these canopies are very, very steerable. You pull the left toggle, you turn left, the right toggle, you turn right. If you go down a bit quicker, slow down going down as well. You can't really climb in them. But now the team coach at the bottom, the very bottom, team member, is now calling everyone into position. They do have radios, but actually it's quite quiet up there as well. You can just talk quite loudly to each other. And look at that, isn't that a great first line of stern formation? Typically, Falcons team members have 5,000 to 7,000 jumps each before they join the team. The coach, well, 3,000 to 4,000. Here we see the split spiral. Keep the numbers one direction, put numbers in the other. Well, I think that's 3 volts. So whilst the team are concentrating on these formations, the coach at the bottom is also keeping a watch of the flare on the ground, making sure that the position is always held and can and will make that drop zone. So you may be used to the Red Arrows doing opposition manoeuvres. Here's the opposition manoeuvres, Falcon style. Now the team moves to the cyclone. In theory they should stay the same distance apart, but of course these are all physical training instructors. They're very competitive. You just can't help trying to catch up on the memory craft. So now they're down to about 2,000 feet and the ground suddenly starts looking like the ground and hangars look like hangars. Thoughts turning more and more into the landing, and a very special landing it will be as well. During this descent the team have actually put another smoke canister on their ankles. You tend to get about 80 to 90 seconds of each canister. Now the coach is beginning his run into land. Looking at the drop zone, talking to the rest of the team, making sure they are in the best position possible. So now is the time to have your cameras ready. Loosen up those vocal cords for a big cheer of the team coming to land. Gently moving upwind. This will be a formation landing. Yes indeed, ladies and boys and girls. Formation landing. So now is the time. They can see you very clearly. They are the pinnacle of military parachuting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please cheer, please wave, please jump up and down for the Royal Air Force Parachute Display Team, the Falcons. Well, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it doesn't get any better than that. That's not quite the end of the Falcons display. As you can see, they are quickly shedding their harnesses, making sure their canopies are safe before they line up for the traditional salute this afternoon will be taken by the station commander. I'm sure the team members are very raw. You can almost see the smiles from here. I think they absolutely enjoyed, like I say, Winwood. Tiger shows. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put your hands together as the team. Coming to line. Call to attention. Ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Display Team. Supporters. Pedal turn, you're going to get a good view at the bottom of the aircraft here, and you're going to hear that noise build. And we're going to fly the aircraft now to the very edge of the Chinook's limits. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having us here at RAF Valley, the Chinook display for 2022. Just almost zero at the point you put the pedal there to get the aircraft to turn before it starts to drop. And he's assisted today from the left-hand seat by Lieutenant Paul Winching to the left, another Chinook captain, very experienced pilot, operating as co-pilot, but actually a captain on the Chinook as well. Now Paul's going to be assisting Schmitty here because all of the left-hand manoeuvres, we don't have a big canopy like on many of the fast jets that fly out of here. So all of the left-hand manoeuvres, Schmitty is partially blind as he makes this offset wing over, jimping right to 30 degrees, bringing the aircraft back round onto the display axis. Now Paul is not only providing information on height, speed, etc., he's also looking out the left-hand side of the cockpit and talking Schmitty on until Schmitty can see his line-up markers again. Now we do not have a head-up display in the Chinook either, so this next set of manoeuvres is a big, what we call crew resource management exercise, CRM, with Schmitty flying the aircraft entirely looking out of the front and Paul providing all of that commentary or patter internally. Now this is the roller pitching the aircraft nose forward there. Schmitty is again looking out the side of the aircraft, looking through ground speed to arrive at about zero at the point he puts that forward pitch. Paul is pattering, as we call it, his nose up and his nose down very quickly at the same time as they descend towards the ground. Paul is providing a short radar altimeter to give Schmitty an idea of when he is approaching 100 feet to make sure that he pulls out not below his display minimum. And as the aircraft exits stage right now, we're going to see another 30-degree offset wing over before the guys come back in and demonstrate a single nose over on the display data. Now at this point we're going to try and take you into the cockpit. It's always worked so far during the display season, let's hope it works again. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to listen to Paul, provide that talking commentary to Schmitty as they go through a single nose over and then a pedal turn at the left hand end. now we're going to enter a flat 270, which is going to lead into a quick stop. And as we come around this manoeuvre, you're going to hear plenty of blade slap potentially. Blade slap is the very distinctive noise of the Chinook. And we like that very much, of course, because as we all know, Chinook noise is boring. And there's the quick stop. Now this is a manoeuvre that we do on the Magister, which we see troops and a big phase of troops that come out of cover and through. We have to lead them away and they act on their own, but they will drop the post to get an idea of where we're going to stop. Several times, and he's been on the menu all around the world. As we call it, and designed in Bosnia many years ago in British history to exit a very distinctive landing site in a very tight valley. Now the aircraft in an operational fit has two weapons on either side, one weapon on each side of the aircraft and one extra weapon on the ramp. So this manoeuvre is designed to rotate those weapons and give the crew a chance to respond to anyone who engages the aircraft in a 360-degree access on that side. As they reach the top there, Schmitz is going to get the nose down, bit of left-hand back to slide, and they're going to enter a 405-degree spiral descent. And again, all of these pattering around this, glancing out to the left-hand side of the aircraft, just to make sure Schmitz lines up and doesn't come any closer than the minimum. They're going to burn towards you, break away, and then position out to the right-hand side again. There we go. Now this crew have worked very hard on the display routine this year. They were very lucky to win the prestigious Best UK display at Royal Air Force Fairford during the Royal International Air Tattoo in July. This display designed by Schmitty. Brand new display after several years of having to run the same sequence for engineering reasons. And the other thing that I wish we'd been able to show you here today is an entry to the display which we do with the Blades aerobatic display team, where on that initial running towards us, the blades in their and lining up here for one of my favourite manoeuvres on the Chinook display, the running landing. Now this is designed in case we have a power loss on the aircraft, we can't come to the hover to land it, so we can land it much like a fixed wing. On the back two wheels, Schmitty there touching down. Paul will be pattering his nose up at this point. You can see that rear rotor, if he picks up much more, will start to get very close to the runway. So he'll hold the front wheels in the air, allowing that aircraft to decelerate before we could put the front back down onto the ground. Now for the display here today, we're going to do something extra special. They're going to hold that attitude and they're going to allow the aircraft to accelerate backwards. Now bear in mind, so they have the ability to look backwards from the cockpit, so this is a complicated manoeuvre. And at about 20 knots, the crew is going to lift back into the air, roughly on the display data, I should say exactly on the display data, if they get it right. And they're going to point at all of you, they're going to flash their landing lights, and they're going to give you a slight bow to say thank you very much, RAF Valley, for having us here today. I'd encourage all of you to give a big wave for one moment, and look at all of you in the crowd. were departing a landing site and we were engaged by weaponry from the 12 o'clock the aircraft, i.e. in front of the aircraft where you are. We can use that style of departure to pitch the aircraft up, present the bulletproof plates underneath the aircraft to that incoming attack, and then run away very bravely. And to finish off the commentary here today, I would just like to make a final mention of a group of people who were not in front of you at that moment there. Our engineers operating out of the ops building here. Your right hand side. Flypasts. Aircraft based here at Burnley. This is the Texan Flypasts. Aircraft is the big truck, the running RA30, single engine turboprop, built by Raytheon, back in 2014. It's a trader aircraft based on the Magister PC9, first flew back in 2000. Flypast by the Texans, they perform what we call a run and break to land. Again, something you're very familiar with if you live in the local area. Enough talking, look good. The sight, the sound, the hurricane. Well, I'm sure you noticed that that Hurricane's painted black. Make the fly path. This is the Tutor. We're possibly known as the Airbus H145 in our service. And the flight is recovery, capable of carrying out most of the operational duties such as single the aircraft is equipped with a very powerful wing. When you get this far, look at the tail rotor on this aircraft, that's called a Magister. Used in the aircraft directional control. It's very different from the considerations or anyone involved in search and rescue. I think this aircraft type often utilised as an air ambulance. H135 Juno helicopter. Digital technology, the helicopter training program, basically squirrel breathing. Can carry up to 9 passengers and up to 2 crew. Integration. Search and rescue role that we are going to see demonstrated over the next few minutes. Now casualties looking help, to be honest, maybe up quite well, but could be out at sea, could be on the mountain top, cold, temporary nights, gales, hail, sleet. is downdraft. You imagine air, the wind, the gale underneath the helicopter. So you'll see as the wingspan approaches the casualty, you're really the most driving, flying the aircraft and down to the ship. This is depending on the environment and the circumstances, if there's a hot overhang or similar, or a lead. Always that breathing know that Enjoyable demonstration of the role of the Search and Rescue Training Unit, number 202 Squadron based here at Valley. I'm sure you've got the seated helicopter or similar in the area. Why he's there and what he's doing. So now is the chance to show your appreciation. Pilot, possibly the last Charlie,
background, been in Merlin for 6 years, and I'm a search master. At the Falklands in March 2016. So I've flown to Iraq from the UK and back again, flown operations in Iraq and Bosnia, I've been to Northern Ireland, and then I finished my last flying tour as an instructor on Tutors. So we do the assurance, the squadron, so they're the experts, and we just come in to make sure they're following the future. So, and ultimately, yeah, so they're the subject matter experts.
What's the rest of the day got in store for you now as the air safety manager, as now you the family say? A lot of activity going on today, a lot of unusual flying and new planes coming?
Yeah, absolutely. We started on the display brief this morning, so that was good. My boss is on the coach, is in charge of that, and he's got it all covered. He's all over it, so I'm just the KPI just looking over, see if I can see anything that might be missed. So actually this year, I haven't got a goal this afternoon, so I'll be enjoying the show.
Okay, well thank you very much indeed. I hope it's a successful and safe show. Squadron Leader, Penny Field, Air Safety Manager, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Wel, mae'n gweithio yma, a sy'n gwneud cais o'r môr ond dyna sy'n ei yma. Dwi'n dal pen y fanno, a'n caed ar eich fali, yn ffodus mae'r tywydd yn gilydd. Mae'r llefrith dal yn allan o'r ymlaen y fan, a dwi'n cyddio tolydd hefyd gyda
Spitfire ER-19.
And then it'll just continue the cycle all the way down until the year 2060.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on the left side, Wings, the Spitfire. Well, I really don't think it gets any better than that. Beautiful sight and sound in this beautiful sky. Runway. Trying to keep the runway in view out to the side of the cockpit till the very last moment. Then keep the aircraft straight, wait for the edges of the runway to appear to the left and the right, should be down the middle. With the Hurricane, the Spitfire was, let's say, slightly fragile on landing. A very different undercarriage arrangement. A very narrow wheelbase. Which is to do with the way that the undercarriage polio is holding over the air. So quite narrow. Spitfire much happier in the air than on the bottom. So you can see this making the road quite an angle to the runway. Line up and quite an angle to the approach. Holding everything steady, looking left, looking right. So here's a nice photographic opportunity for you. Tutor taxiing out, Spitfire taxi. It's a privilege to be here with you all today on this beautiful day at the RAF Falcons Valley Family Day. Flying for us today is Captain Former Service He's from here in County Louth, Ireland. Air Corps in 2010. He's working hard over the top of that loop now, rolling out smoke on. Up he goes now for a stall turn. We're the flying training school. We're delighted to display for you all today. We work very closely here with the people at Valley, especially with 72 Squadron, who are signing up for the rest of the year. Captain Paul McDermott is pulling into a max rate turn now, pulling up to 6.5 G in this turn. Captain McDermott is the chief flying instructor of the flying training school. And for those of you at RAF this year, you would have seen leading the Silver Swallows, the Irish Air Force here back in Spain. The RAF Texan is a familiar role to the Irish Air Force. Introduction in 2004, its primary role is with the flying training school, as I said. It also takes ammunition pilots from 0 to fully qualified pilots. As an advanced trainer, ceremonial and display aircraft, and also a combat weapons point. It's maintained by the talented technicians of the flying training school who have been working hard for the past 2 weeks to keep their aircraft ready for space. PC9 is fitted with Pratt & Whitney PC6A jet engine, which I'm sure you're all familiar with here. It gives the aircraft an impressive 950 horsepower and allows it to reach Mach speeds of 320 knots up to plus 70 and then minus 3.5. Look to your right now, folks, as Captain McDermott comes down nice and low, lowers the landing gear, and will come in for a low pass. We've got 2 sets of guns and also rockets. This pilot you will notice today that we're having a special field team on here. This is the mark of 100 years of the Irish Air Force.
It's only gone down by 5 points.
The Air Force corresponded to 25 points. The Irish Navy is very good.
Oh, that's kind of
6 wins and 1 year. safety this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to speak to you and all the families here at RAF Valley. I hope you have a wonderful day. Serve me the market. Well, they do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now thanks to the ISS.
Provide a demonstration of what North Wales Police are doing in a new generation of aerial support for you as the public in North Wales. So we have Police Officer Phil Harrison, who's deploying his DJI M300 aircraft, and essentially we will turn up at a dynamic event where we'll have information about perhaps a crime incident or a missing person or somebody who's at risk. And we will drive to an area, even in bad weather, and we will assess the airspace. We'll look at the information that we have about what we need to search for, prepare the aircraft, and then prepare to fly, and then consider exactly what it is that we need to do. So you can see Phil now preparing the aircraft. And a lot of you come over to see us today at our North Wales Police stand. We're really grateful for your support. We'll be here for the rest of the afternoon, and we're available to follow on Twitter and Facebook as well, on the North Wales Police drone, and we'd love to take some more questions. So let's see as Phil gets underway. Surely the most underwhelming flight display in the history of RAF flight displays, but this is small in nature, but it packs a punch with an amazing camera. We were flying over Holywell and we were able to check the time on the Liver building in Liverpool with this camera. We have a thermal view which can assist us with searching for missing people or suspects, someone who may have done something a little naughty that we need to catch up with. And once we find them, particularly with a thermal camera, it's very difficult for them to get out of our sight. So I'll let you watch for a few moments as Phil prepares the aircraft. We're just going to gain some height and make a few flight manoeuvres. This is probably the highlight of his career so far. We haven't brought any smoke to trail this year. I think if you put in sufficient requests, we'll do that for next year.
And I think it's important to say, if you have your own drone, don't try it.
So it's really good for us to have an opportunity to speak to you as public and interested in aviation, because anybody can go out and buy a drone. You can buy drones up to 25 kilograms and fly those in certain areas without qualification. But the legislation is not that simple. This is an aviation unit that we run. We have great respect for our colleagues in the RAF, Coast Guard with Bristow's. We work very closely with our police colleagues in the National Police Air Service. And we have to be very, very careful flying in ways that don't put other aviation users at risk. That's the same for you as members of the public. Fly safely in every situation. I've had a request from the media team in RAF Valley here that we can get to photos and some video of this fabulous family day. And I'm just asking Phil now to line up the aircraft so that he's going to do a pass down the flight line facing all of you. And I think it's brilliant to record this pass and all of you waving as we come past. Does that sound like something we can do? Yeah, brilliant. I did think about a Mexican wave, but the logistics are almost impossible. So as Phil starts to track across the flight line, here he comes now. It might be awkward if he's really slow, but let's have the whole crowd waving, cheering, and RAF Valley will be really grateful for this. So Phil, go ahead and make that fantastic pass. I think you all did a really good job there, that was fantastic. I think what I'll do now is ask Phil to demonstrate what it looks like to fly to our maximum altitude that was permitted by civil aviation regulations. It isn't very high, 400 feet, 120 metres. But you can imagine that if we, in a police incident, had to turn up and be quite covert, not surveillance and not snooping, but if we had a very high risk incident, perhaps with firearms or weapons, we can easily place this drone in a very secure location without disturbing people, without alerting the subjects that we're actually looking to intervene. It's quieter than a police helicopter, therefore we're not going to wake you up at night. We do have a spotlight on there, and I'll ask Phil shortly to put that spotlight on, and you might be able to see it even though it's daytime. One of the big risks with private drone flyers, particularly in an amazing place like North Wales, is flights around Holyhead and our beaches. This equipment here, made by a company called DJI, puts some very, very good geo-fencing in place so that technically you shouldn't be able to fly into the flight restriction zone, the air traffic zone, of Bali or Mono. But these things can occur, and you have to be really very careful just to check the regulations. Go on the civil aviation website and understand what you can and can't do. If we look up there now, we can see that one of our spotlights is in a strobe mode. We did use this to great effect in a firearms job one night, where the suspects who had a rifle returned to their house around 2 in the morning. Pretty much didn't want to answer the door. We didn't want to knock on the door knowing that there was a firearm involved. So we placed our trusty M300 drone outside their window at a safe distance and woke them up with the strobe. Nobody got shot and there were no complaints made. We have a fantastic relationship with Mountain Rescue in North Wales, some of the brilliant teams, some of the volunteers, some of the guys here, RAF Mountain Rescue team and Lola Rescue, because we can get out in all weather with this aircraft, and sometimes when other helicopters will struggle to fly, we can arrive by a vehicle and fly, although in a limited airspace in the zone, we can still be useful, and we quite often have really incredible results finding those people who are in difficult situations, and we can help them volunteer teams together. So, thank you very much, PC Phil Harrison.
Flying in towards you from the centre at over 200 miles per hour is David Winching. Pulls up 5.5 G, compared to speed into height. His first manoeuvre was forced closure. Born in Southport and started his career in the Royal Navy in 1996, when he trained to fly the City in helicopter role. DJ has now regained his airspeed and achieved 1,300 feet on the top of the Tutor Clover. Operationally, DJ has flown the Sea King in a variety of areas, including Sierra Leone and Persian Gulf. He also spent 3 years flying search and rescue missions on the DJ rolled 90 degrees straight up, being a stop turn and quite strongly. DJ is now serving in the Royal Air Force. When on his way, he is responsible for training qualified military pilots to become instructors and tutors. In his spare time, DJ flies mini airplanes, racing power boats, and rides classic cars. During his very career, DJ has amassed over 6,000 flying hours. Today, the Tutor is trained by the Royal Air Force's largest flying school, number 6 Flying Training School. Tutor is used to train junior RAF pilots, university air squadron students, and their cadets, being both air experience flights and traffic. Displaying the Tutor requires the pilots to be meticulous with their energy management. DJ now uses a wing over to regain as much energy as possible, which sets up for the next manoeuvre. The aircraft is flying, ladies and gentlemen, the Grob Tutor, that's operated in partnership with Falcons. It's constructed with carbon composite material, 180 horsepower like Magister engines. Top speed of 212 miles per hour. Positive plus G and positive 60. DJ now pulls up into the vertical approach. The DJ presents the underside of the aircraft to you. You will see the Royal Air Force with the art on the underside of the aircraft. New for 2022, design will make a fantastic showing. Focus there to support RAF personnel, accidents and veterans whenever they are in need. We're proud to raise awareness and donation for a charity that gives so much to all of the RAF personnel. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Tutor is very manoeuvrable, and the Tutor is also capable of sustained inverted flight, which DJ will now demonstrate on this stage. As you can imagine, this is not naturally a comfortable position to be in, as flight is not the interior airline. When it comes to air experience flying, there are 12 flights serving over 1,000 air cadet squadrons nationwide. Join the air cadets, you're between 12 and 17 years old. At the age of 13, you can fly Vikings or fly the Tutor and experience aerobatic manoeuvres like you see today. For those of you that are older, there are 15 university air squadrons across the UK, including nearby universities. The students are taught the university air squadrons to fly the Tutor by 5 years experience with flying instructors. Flying, a range of other activities include leadership, sport and adventurous training around the world, providing a huge opportunity of personal development, embracing the Royal Air Force's core values of respect, integrity, service and excellence. University Air Squadron members are not committed to a military career after graduation, however many do decide to join us. I'd like to take this moment to say a big thank you to the Royal Air Force Benevolent Fund and Babcock for their generous support this season, providing the aircraft and much of the merchandise they are giving out and will stand today and throughout the season. As I alluded to earlier, this aircraft is used to train future RAF pilots, and the Royal Air Force itself is a high tempo operations today. The aircraft and other personnel are deployed around the world, with NATO and other allies. Others secure the skies from the United Kingdom 24/7, 365 days a year. Today, the Royal Air Force is expanding and recruiting over 50 rewarding and demanding professions such as air traffic controllers, engineers, medics and cyberspace specialists. The Royal Air Force, an exciting future with the arrival of the Lightning, Poseidon, Wedgetail and the new Grob spacecraft. DJ will now be shooting out to 100 feet and it's low bars, so make sure you give him a wave as he flies through. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 2022 Royal Air Force Shooter Display! Oh, well, our thanks to the Tutor display team. Always great to see a tutor. And it is that incredible thing that if you're a member of the university, just take a minute or two to gain a little altitude before coming back to commence this display. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on the right, Miles Magister. This aircraft is a two-seat monoplane basic trainer aircraft. Designed and built by the British aircraft manufacturer Miles Aircraft, affectionately known to everyone as the Maggie. This aircraft was developed from the existing Mark IV trainer, which had only been ordered in very small numbers. Maiden flight was on the 20th of March 1937, where it quickly became praised for its handling qualities, both the safety and the ease of pilot training, whilst also delivering powerful forward, contemporary monoplane unmanned fighters of the year. Magister was very soon ordered into production, in fact entered service in the Royal Air Force in October 1937. 7 months after its maiden flight. Just about every RAF fighter pilot in the Battle of Britain would have trained on a Maggie. At the time, the EMOR training progression, you started on the Tiger Moth, you moved on to Harvard, then you moved on to the Maggie before going to Spitfire or the Hurricane. The Tiger Moth, two-seat trainer, Harvard, two-seat trainer, Spitfire and Hurricane, single-seat fighter. So it was recognised there was a jump to be made there, quite literally. And your first flight in a Spitfire or a Hurricane, you were the pilot. There was no room for anyone else. And that's where the Maggie came in, able to give still some dual control experience in a fairly high performance aircraft. Read some of the fighter pilot books from the Battle of Britain. I'm especially thinking of First Light, Whelan's book. He talks very well in that novel about his training and also his time on the Maggie. So in many ways, this was the Hawk. This was the Hawk equivalent. It was in the late 1930s and early 1940s. This was the advanced trainer for those who were going on to frontline The aircraft is largely built of wood, made of spruce with a plywood covering, and it has split flaps as standard. Now that's something we take for granted these days. In fact, the first aircraft in RAF with flaps. Power provided by 130 horsepower de Havilland GT Major engine, very similar to the engine on Tiger Moth. With the aircraft a top speed of 132 miles per hour, a range of 380 miles and a ceiling of 18,000 feet. That would be very, very comfortable. During June 1940, as part of the British anti-invasion preparations, some Magisters were actually fitted with bomb racks, enabling them to carry 8 very small 25-pounder bombs. June 1940 was a perilous month. Just after Dunkirk, invasion of the UK expected at any moment. Basically any aircraft, including training aircraft such as the Maggie, were armed, bombed up, ready to go if necessary. Thankfully, they were not called on to go into combat. I think we all know what the result would have been. Was also chief test pilot. He became famous for his aerobatic displays and demonstrations of his aircraft. He would carry out hand-free landing. He would literally hold his hands up out in the slipstream while the aircraft basically landed itself, and also fly formations whilst inverted. Some 700 Maggies served with the Royal Air Force, all in this very traditional yellow colour, very much the training colour of the age. And in fact, if you look through the static aircraft park, you'll see a Tiger Moth in there, also wearing the same colour scheme. Maggie was also utilised for testing various ideas, some of them more crazy than others. Perhaps the best known is the use of a castered undercarriage. Each of the 3 wheels is castered and revolved 360 degrees, a bit like a shopping trolley, to enable the aircraft to land in all sorts of crosswinds. There's no real evidence that successful ever went. During the Battle of Britain, Maggies were often used as a Red Arrows! high-speed frontline pilot and was also a qualified flying instructor on Corps PC9 here at RAF Valley, as well as Tutor, which was the Tutor display pilot in 2010. The smoke comes on as Red 2, 3, 4 and 5 lose their way back to the rear of the formation's 4-mile first, big wings and space-themed shape. Red 1 bringing them round to the right, get your cameras ready for the shuttle roll. Paddy is a former Tornado DR4 pilot with a mighty 9 bomber squadron at RAF Mars. Paddy was also a captain pilot with 11 and 12 squadron at RAF Coningsby. The smoke comes on from Red 4 and 5 as they move alongside Red 2 and 3. The Red Arrows are based at RAF Scampton to the north of Lincoln. RAF Scampton was the base for the famous 617, the Dambuster squadron during World War II. Unfortunately, Scampton will close at the end of the year and the team will move to RAF Winching. In tribute to the station, its history and its squadron, the 7 generation S35, this is the Lightning Loop. Again, the team is 5.5 the controls a little bit less responsive, making the formation of play certainly Red 4 on the outside a little bit more difficult. As the team bend around to the left, on the far right hand side uppermost as we look at it is John flying instructor on Tutor, and he was the Tutor display pilot in 2000. Once again, the formation has been as Red 1 formation around the right, pulling about 3D, even more difficult. Again, once you get your cameras ready, role in all military and future operations. Contribute to the importance of space with a shape that would represent the lunar landing craft with Red on the left hand side. This is Apollo. And they are the engineers, support personnel, operations, the administrators, and the working. However, inside those blues are the workers. They are the 10 individuals that fly in our aircraft in between shows, and we cannot take the whole complement. One individual you will see with me at every show is Air Specialist Flypasts. She is there filming display for safety and media purposes, and she is also responsible for the safety. You'll see now the formation has changed to Red 4 and 5 in trail. For one of the crowd's favourite manoeuvres, colourful and dynamic, the for nearly 40 years. RAF Valley, get your cameras ready. Tornado. The ball call is made by Red 4 and 24 and 5. Roll around the smoke and the rest of the formation. Look for the colour change now. It's the formation to the right. As Reds 4 and 5 now smoke red and blue. Looking red is flight attendant Dave Simmons, red 5. Is an important year for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth after Magister the Queen, England's second celebration 70 years on the throne. Therefore makes her the longest serving Queen in history. In tribute to the prestigious occasion of her Platinum Jubilee, once again, keep your cameras ready for the colourful Jubilee present. But I think you'll agree that Red Arrows take it up to the next level with formation. In the second half, you will see now the team break down into two sections. Red through 5, they are now known as Enid. They are named after Enid Flight Stage 5. They have Red 6, and it would be Red 7 who makes the from there. And they are responsible for the fast, dynamic, and low passive in the second half. Show. Look directly to your front, and you can see the nose lights of the aircraft with Enid on front. Get your cameras ready for the destination. A series of barrel rolls through the sky, leaving a snake-like shape in the sky in a maneuver we like to call the Python. Keep your eyes to the left-hand side. You've got Red 6 returning back to the play line. Once again, down that 150. A personal speed of over 400 miles per hour. He pulls hard now outside, everything about him is now weighing 5 times heavier than what he was He's inverted with 60 degrees nose down as he looks to rejoin his line at 100 feet. Clearly Red 7 would be on our left hand side, and he would even Get ready for this front break. Which was named by a viewer of the One Show in 2020. Yeah, parallel by leaving the player at least 30 sites on the crossbow. of barrels around the rest of the aircraft, leaving the infinity symbol in the sky for the infinity bridge. RFI, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please put your hands together for the 2022 Red Arrows Red Arrows!